Good morning. This episode of Procrastinating is brought to you by this ridiculously tired face and tea. Well, I think that's the usual sponsors anyway. But yeah, I kind of did like a sort of procrastinating video last week, but then I was like, I have nothing to say for most of it, so I was like, I can't be bothered to upload it. Because it's about 14 minutes of me sort of crocheting, but not really doing much crochet, and not doing much talking, so it was just kind of gaps of silence. And then I'd say something, and be rather random. So yes, this is it's this bits to show. It could almost get towards actual podcast format, kind of in terms of stuff done, stuff in progress, stuff that I've kind of acquired because I went to Hobbycraft again. Oops. But yes, first off, hi if my sister's watching. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be mean to you this episode. So I have a few things to actually. One of these, I don't know why I've still got it here because I finished it like December. But yeah, what I was actually crocheting in my video that you didn't see because I didn't put it up, with these here fingerless gloves, and I sort of crocheted these last week, and I used Happy Berry mitten pattern that I saw on YouTube and was like, okay, that is simple enough, so let's do that. So I did kind of start one glove and then kind of have to sort of start the other one with my other ball of yarn and then go back and unravel the other one because it was too big. So now I have those, and I did kind of add an extra row or two, so it kind of finishes right my fingers. And I think I did make that bit a row higher than her pattern because she was using worsted weight yarn and this is like DK, so thinking otherwise it wouldn't have been quite high enough to get the chain over my thumb, and then it'd be kind of like. But yes, this was some self-striping yarn that I got from Wilkinson's, and it's quite fun. It's very funky. So I have those now, and I do like the sort of. I'm a ridiculous fan of double front post, like double crochet. I really like it. As you can sort of see, but this is the first hat that I made, but it's like I kind of made the starting chain bigger than like the pattern said, and that was a mistake because it's now kind of huge, because it's sort of. Oh, I'm not putting it on because then I'll have to take this hat off. You have to see how ridiculous my hair looks because it's ridiculous. But yeah, this is all front post double crochet, and it's awesome, and I do like the colour. So at some point, maybe I'll just try like washing it and see if it shrinks or something. That'd be an attempt. And this was basically this. I started knitting this. This is my knitting book. I have some knitting, some crochet, but this is like the scarf that I started knitting on like Boxing Day, and I recently, when I finished it a bit ago, but I kind of not like dead recently, like sort of a week or two, and then I've sort of had it sat around and then looked at it going, you know what it needs? Tassels. It needs some freaking tassels because it doesn't look right otherwise. So it just looks sort of strange ending because it was just a very long rectangle. But yeah, it's like nice long self-stripey, and it had like took 3 balls of yarn. So there is a spot where there's like a massive yeah, there it is. That section there is where one of the balls of yarn connected up, and I managed to hide it quite well. I kind of have lost where I've hidden the ball ends because I just sort of knotted them in, and I couldn't be asked to try that sort of hand special whatever to disguise it. So yes, there's a couple of other things that I finished. I made a hat for my sister using it kind of like a sort of rib band and then half double crochet, all over the body. But I made that somehow ended up so big, it literally over my eyes. Hopefully, she's got a lot of hair though, so it should fit her okay, hopefully. But yes, and I also made a crocheted little bookmark that I sent to my dear Twinny for her birthday. It was where I can actually I have I can show a picture on my phone because I took a picture of it before I sent it, so I was like, I have a photo, so I know that I did. Yes, it was that. that I crocheted. Basically, in this sort of like crochet guide book thing that I bought, it sort of had a bookmark, and it was like so I was using my sort of thin, this is like 3-ply cotton, maybe 2, I don't know. It could be like, can't remember. This might be considered what sock weight is, I'm not sure. Just sort of pulling it apart to see how many strands are in it. No, it's 3-ply, that is. So yeah, I sort of made it out of that. Yeah, I think the pattern used like 2-ply sock weight yarn, but then it was like, I don't have that, and I don't have hook small enough to do that, so I kind of use this in like my 2 or 2.5 mil hook. Whatever I did. But yes, I did on like Saturdays, like start crocheting a kind of scarfy thing with this yarn, but it was like 40 stitches wide, and I was doing like sort of alternating front post, back post, double crochet, but I kind of didn't get it quite right in the fact that it ended up looking like a basket weave, and I wasn't really happy with it, and it was like, I don't have enough yarn to make that into a scarf length of that width, so I kind of unraveled it all and then rewrapped it, and this took a bit of time. I did kind of have it wrapped around the arms of my the desk chair in my room at my parents' house, so that was fun. What I'm currently doing is this here scarf. I'm doing this for my sister, and I'm kind of using a pattern that I saw on a YouTube video. I think it's RJ Knits was the video that I saw, like the sort of ultimate scarf thing. I'll try and find a link and put it down below, but that was sort of like the pattern idea that I saw. I don't know if mine's exactly the same thing, because I did add an extra set of ribs because I'm using thinner yarn than he is. But yes, I am going with this. I'm currently really happy with the cable. I'm obscenely happy with the cable. I spent like quite a good portion of time like sitting working out, because I didn't get an actual written pattern from that video, so it's like I spent a serious amount of time just like working out what I needed to do in like the sort of eight row kind of repeat section of what I need to do for the cable. And then since then since I've gone past the rows, I'm now kind of like, for all the numbered rows up to about 130, I'm like, okay, which row is the repeat? So I can look at it and go, okay, I have no idea how to count that far. Which one is it? 5 to 12? Which one? So yeah, I got that. I'm using like super cheap yarn. The yarn's like Poundable. It's Poundable DK acrylic stuff from Hobbycraft. But it doesn't feel too things. It's a bit fuzzy. It's gonna probably fuzz up a bit, and there'll be a bit better pilling. But it's like, my sister really liked the colour of it, and the video is not showing up quite what the actual colour is. It's not as teal looking as it does in that video. It's more kind of like evergreeny. But I kind of, for that I had already got 6 balls of yarn, but I bought 3 more in Hobbycraft because I wasn't sure if I was going to need more. So I have that. I could always just make around like a pair of gloves to go with them once I've done that. But yes, I've got my cable. But I've been knitting over this at the weekend, and I took it with me to my nan's and my grand's yesterday when I went visiting. I did both grands in a weekend, in a day. That was pretty impressive. And I was sat knitting on this, and my mother, we were at the dinner table after having Sunday lunch, doing the crossword, because that's what we do in my family. And I was just sat in this, and my mum's sort of across the table laughing at me because she just says how I knit is really weird. I was like, what? What's wrong with you? I don't knit that weird. But apparently I do, because I kind of wrap the sort of the yarn around my finger and kind of hold it out a bit to the side and then do that. And mother's, when she used to knit, she would be so fast you wouldn't even need to have your finger stuck out because you'd just be moving all the time. It's like, well, I can't knit that fast yet, mother, so boo. And some other things I bought from Hobbycraft is I bought 3 balls of this DMC Natura just cotton yarn. I bought what colour is that? That's colour N34 and N27. I bought this because my grandma earlier in, like, no, it was before before New Year's, asked me if I could crochet her a tea cozy, and she gave me this pattern she got from one of her women's weekly magazines, and so she wanted me to crochet that, and it's I couldn't get the colours exactly that was in there, but these are the sort of the nearest ones. But she wants it done for like a teapot that's like probably going to be a lot smaller than this, because this is probably like a large kind of like 4-6 person teapot. She's given me like a 2-person like oval, like a kind of oval cylinder kind of size teapot. So it's going to be interesting because I'm going to crochet it to this size, and then we'll have to see how it's going to fit, because I have no idea. But I have the buzz done, the pretty, and I'm hoping if there's enough left over I can use these to sort of make more of those bookmarks, because it is 3-ply, so I can just steal some to make more of these bookmarks, and at some point it'll be like, who wants bookmarks? Because I have lots of crocheted bookmarks. So yeah, at some point well, there's there's like several bits to this that you sort of need to make to then assemble later. My tea's luckily not quite gone over the verge of coldness, but so I can kind of do those, like kind of the wing bit, you kind of sort of crochet a circle, and then there's a little bit afterwards, and then there's like the little beak thing and the whole comb thing. The pattern for that is somehow longer than the pattern for the body of the tea cozy, which I don't understand, but at some point I'll get to that. And also my mother went to Aldi, where apparently they have wool. The urge to go and drive out to our Aldi nearby is very strong now. But she bought me this crochet book, which for some reason has a barcode on the front as well as the back. That's weird. So it's like a kind of crochet one that's got about blankets, throws and wraps, which is very cool. And also a knitting one as well. And so maybe at some point I shall look at doing some of those projects. So that's very cool. My sister's all like, kind of, what have you been mad? I didn't buy them, it wasn't me, it was Mother. Mother did it, not me. I've only got 2 knitting books. Like, well, 1 crochet, 1 knitting, and I borrowed like 1 from the library. But I've not been buying them. It's Mother. Admittedly, I did buy a magazine that magazine was like £10, it was £2.99. So I kind of have spent more on one thing. Oopsies, never mind. But yes, I'm not going to actually sit and start doing any knitting in this, because it's already too long. But I don't have much other things to talk about. Besides the fact I need to get some work done, because I've got a French thing that I need to finish that I didn't finish before the weekend, and I've got a lot of poetry to try and get in my head, because I've got a tutorial on Saturday next week. And I can't deal with poetry. Poetry and me just do not get on. It's just not happening. But yes, I'm going to go and then start this uploading, and I resist the urge to eat toffee for my lunch. I need to actually have some proper lunch. Maybe. And yes, so I shall see you soon, maybe. Maybe I'll do something bookish soon, I don't know. Although I was actually thinking, I do have a second channel, which I have, it was going to be sort of like a French channel, but nah, mate. But I have kind of now like sort of converted it over to sort of like crafty. So it could be my kind of crafty channel, and sort of whether I can sort of transport all my knitting related videos over to that and run them off that. So people subscribing to this channel because of my knitting stuff don't then get really confused as to why there's random bookish stuff. Because I'm primarily a book channel. But occasionally then, more recently, it's been getting quite knitting related, so knitting, crochet related. I do more crochet than I do knitting. So maybe if that's a thing that I should do, whether I should port all these videos over to my other channel, I might upload it onto both, just to start that off, because otherwise I've got to go back and figure out which videos I've got to upload, because in my sort of recording one on this webcam, it just puts them all in a camera roll folder, and there's stuff in there that I've not uploaded, and there's just random shit that I don't really want putting up. So I've got to make sure I know which ones I need to re-upload. But anyway, that's a thought for you to think about. But I shall see you soon, and I'm going to drink this tea before it goes cold, because Nobody want that. Right, toodles.